Hello and welcome to the KMTRADERS channel. We're just going to quickly have a look at the profits that we've made throughout this week. So we're just going to discuss all the analysis that we did before, just quickly show you the entries that we did. And then in the next videos that we put out, they'll be more specific to each pair. So let's get into pound USD for the first currency pair. So what we saw from last week and the analysis that we was looking for was this retest level of this zone. So we was either going to find this zone to be acting as resistance, or it will push through and act as support. And if we just kind of look here, price had rejected it twice, so three times, before it eventually turned back into support. So price had closed above clearly here on the 15th of August and retested this level for support, and then price continued upwards. So in terms of position wise, we have a position here just based off this the support, price retesting the support. Sorry, we're expecting this to reach 1.220, so this monthly key level target here. So we have placed this level here. Sorry, we have placed our projection tool here, and we'll aim for the top line here. So this is our monthly key level, and so in terms of trading positions, we didn't manage to take any shorts, but we took the long position, and we're still holding on to this position as we stand. So as we currently are here, roughly got in here, so suppose about 50 odd pips we're up, and we've left this as break even. So if price comes back down, we've not lost anything on that one. So that is all for pound USD. Moving on to Euro USD. So we discussed in the last video for Euro USD that price had been consolidating in this level, in this region here, between these two boxes here, the light blue and the top blue and the bottom blue. What we was looking for was basically the retest from the bottom of the blue zone, but we didn't manage to get that. And if we did, we managed to get an early entry for 95 pips, but due to following the trend, we got into this here somewhere, just a bit lower, so a trend following method. So approximately, sorry, it was around here, 60 pips for that one, for Euro USD. So look how patient we was waiting for in terms of the whole week, and we noticed that majority of the pairs that we analyzed on this channel, they took out most of the movement towards the end of the week. So beginning of this week was kind of really slow and hardly made any moves. So it was much of a patient waiting game for us in this week. And just a general thing as well, we noticed that August is the quietest time because the big players are basically not in the game, if you know what I mean. So they're not in the markets as actively. So we're expecting the next push to be in September. So if for any traders who are starting to trade or getting into trading, we're going to notice that there's going to be a lot of price action movement in across all of the pairs when September begins, because all the banks start to get back into play and all the big players start to get into the market. So just a generic thing that that was just to summarize. So yeah, that's all for Euro USD. Notice that we didn't break out anywhere to the top, so obviously momentum continued to the downside. Moving on to USDJPY. So yeah, look, we're still stuck into this consolidation area. No real proper moves here. We didn't manage to get into this trade for USDJPY, just because it's not exactly trending in a such manner. So we've stepped out of USDJPY, but for whatever reason, we managed to get the break to the upside, a very faint touch to the bottom zone, but not enough for us to enter as a retest. So potentially we could see this come back down to this level before we get aim higher, but we'll continue that analysis into the specific video. So moving on to gold. Gold has been horrendous this week, stuck in this level. Huge moves from the upside to the downside took us out. If you had any orders for a buy, and then we was looking for a retest at the bottoms level, but we couldn't sustain that. So we broke above, closed it, and that bottom level became a support. We waited for the top level to come out. So here we've got a gold position, but we are very close. We have been stopped out, so break even, and we're now looking for re-entry again. So another test perhaps, and then a push to the upside. So no moves on gold as of yet, but ultimately we have pushed to the upside, came for a retest, failed one time, potentially looking for a second retest if we can get back up. So that is a bit more specific on gold in the next video that we will put out. Moving on to Bitcoin. Cryptocurrencies was just a bit crazy. We couldn't get into any of our positions as we wanted to. We could have got into here, but we just didn't quite get the correct entry. So we'll look into that. So no entry with Bitcoin, and I think the same with Ripple. Yeah, we couldn't get into it as such. This huge move cut out a lot of players, so the entry was not quite there where we wanted it. So not the best of weeks that we've had, but ultimately one presumption is that the August month is a very slow month in terms of trading. So hopefully we could expect next week to be a little bit better, but I'm not expecting too much. Ultimately getting very prepared for September, so hopefully expecting a lot of better results for this week, for weeks to come. So main thing is that we're not in negative. The main thing is that we either made a bit of profit or we took a bit of a loss, but ultimately we aim for our profits to cover our losses. That's the whole process of getting that. And if you ever end up if you ever stuck with trading, I think one thing we've learned is that we see a common pattern where people don't understand the how profits overcome the losses. So it's that mindset orientated that you have to be consistent. That's why you never see someone with 100% profit all the time. Sometimes they do have a few losers in their trading, but obviously this is part of the risk of trading, and not every strategy is 100% correct. So that's something just to think about for yourselves. But ultimately, wrapping up this video, look forward to seeing the September week. But just a quick note, if you haven't followed on our Twitter, we post all our updates up there, just to let you know what we're kind of seeing from our perspective. And lastly, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Getting very close to 1,000 goals. So thank you very much for everyone who's subscribed so far. I'd love to have you all a part of our team. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch you next week.